Good morning, everyone. It's Dwayne Ashford, and I'm coming in with you on a Friday morning. This Friday morning, the date is July 23rd. The time right now is 6:20 a.m. We're coming in to introduce for you the news story article for today, Friday. Incidents for Thursday, July 22nd, that Dwayne Ashford really, to be honest with you, really did not want to carry out this particular reporting procedure. What preceded the reporting for this morning was threat, fear, and safety. As we documented on July 22nd, Thursday, we'd hope that we've moved beyond those incidental threats and safety issues, causing precautions enough to proceed without reporting. But unfortunately, we feel the need to report some incidents that occurred on Thursday, July 22nd. I'm Dwayne Ashford, your SN News JIC, Journalist-in-Chief Broadcaster is what the JIC stands for. Journalist-in-Chief is the acronym JIC. And I'm Dwayne Ashford reporting for you for SN News. StreetNOW News is what that is. The Wimble Tap Media and Companies. This particular reporting is strictly safety, threat, prevention, hazard control. All these things for the life and for the body of Dwayne Ashford, your news chick, your StreetNOW news journalist-in-chief broadcaster absolutely must feel safe. Friday morning, July 23rd is the date, and we're coming into you before 7 a.m. this morning, bringing you news. StreetNOW News. Reporting for you, with you, and about you in mind from the Tyson's Corner area on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. On the outskirts of Baltimore metropolitan area, you have Dwayne Ashford, SN News, StreetNOW News, reporting for you, with you, and about you. Tyson's Corner area, right near the Tyson's Corner Galleria. Coming directly, directly to you from the Extended Stay America Hotel, Tyson's Corner, 3rd floor, room number 347. I'm Dwayne Ashford. One of the biggest gist of this particular reporting for this morning is to show you that the exact same culprits, as one can call it, that was carrying out the activity in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, the exact same culprits that followed and carried out activities of framing, sabotaging, and attacking behind the scenes Dwayne Ashford without touching his body, of course. At the Motel 6 on Georgia Avenue in Washington, D.C., followed Dwayne Ashford out to Tyson's Corner and was carrying out the same activity using the different people. And one of those particular activities that we're mentioning this morning is through photographs, using the photograph of Dwayne Ashford and attaching crime, malicious activity, things that Dwayne Ashford would not do, indecencies and immorality, placing those things attached to the photograph while the photograph is in the hands of another person. And then after the activity was equated to the photograph that was in the hands of another person, that photograph then was given to the real person. And that real person was supposed to walk around with that particular photograph representing crime on his chest. The photograph was a picture that was held in the hands while the crime was being done in order to attribute the crime to the photograph, not to the person and not to the person's activity. And through that particular photograph, that person was supposed to be framed for the crimes that was done collaboratively in a group setting, under a group leadership. Essentially, for crime was supposed to develop the crime and the criminal activity as task number 1. And as task number 2, the leadership was supposed to take the developed crime done within a particular time frame, and that time frame, we argue, was a time frame when the photograph was out of the hands of the actual person of photograph. Task number 2 was to develop the photograph first. See, the photograph had to be developed first. Develop the photograph first. So you take the photograph on the first day, and you hold the photograph until the last day. Between the first and the last day is when the crime was supposed to have been developed. And the problem that we're seeing is the crime has been developed by a group of people, in a collectivism fashion. And then task number 2 was to take that photograph and to attribute that particular crime. All the crimes that was developed within that particular time frame was supposed to have been developed for the sole sake of attributing to that particular photograph. Day 1, develop the photograph. Day 2 through 25, develop the crime. Day 3, take the crime and attach to the photograph. Day 4 was to give the photograph to the innocent person to walk around unknowingly carrying the crimes that was developed from day one of a particular event to day 20. And there you have the crime being attributed to a photograph given to the particular individual to wear on his neck. Therefore, he was wearing the crimes that was carried out during the times in which the photograph was out of the person's hand. Hey y'all, guess what? The photograph where the crimes was being attributed was attached to a real person's face. The crimes were supposed to be developed attached to a particular photograph. That photograph was supposed to have been given back to the innocent person, and that person was supposed to walk around innocently with the crimes on his chest. All innocently, not knowing. For Terry Dwayne Ashford, for StreetNOW News, for SN News, for Wilma Wayne, Tap Media and Companies, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. I am the one who all of this was supposed to occur to, reporting in my allegations of crime scenes, criminals trying to force an innocent person as an alliance to their crime scene. For Terry Dwayne Ashford, yes, I'm an Ashford, the owner, sole proprietor of StreetNOW News, SN News, Tap Media, Wilma Wayne and Companies, who does not go by the name of S's. SC is a man who has followed Terry Dwayne Ashford through the training. Terry Dwayne Ashford does not go by the name Essie, although we politely would speak to a person. But coming around Terry Dwayne Ashford in order to create fraud or even revenue with that sole purpose in mind is destructive to yourself. CEO is what the crime scene had planned to call him in the presence of the real CEO. The crime scene that set up the environment began to badger the real Terry Dwayne Ashford by placing a replica who would receive the reward based on poverty or something else. But let's say poverty. I'll take the money. Was the sentiment. I'll take the fame. I'll take all his work. I'll take it, attach it to me. So I'll follow him everywhere he goes. I'll follow him so that you can re-image me as him, and then I'll become the CEO instead of him documented all over the internet. Tap Media, Wilma Wayne Companies is Terry Dwayne Ashford, and that sentiment that a person named Essie could do that was following Terry Dwayne Ashford's byline, second byline as a reporter that took on the name of Kofi Inan Blue. Kofi Inan Blue was a second byline developed by Terry Dwayne Ashford during his beginning stages of his reporting career. Upon completion at Georgia State University, the second byline was deemed necessary due to articles that was written on particular topics that would have followed the reporters, that would follow reporters for the rest of their lives. Those particular articles was written under the byline of Kofi Inan Blue. In order to have hidden the real reporter's face, family, and his work. Terry Dwayne Ashford believes that secondary byline developed the person who thought and was told or may have been instructed that he could steal from the real Terry Dwayne Ashford. That second byline was Kofi Inan Blue. Kofi Inan Blue, and you can reference this in articles on the internet, the World Wide Web. So the crime scene of today was to develop a Kofi Inan Blue and name him something else. And that particular person would follow the real Terry Dwayne Ashford and steal from him. Therefore, in the environment that was developed in order to attack Terry Dwayne Ashford, a person was created to be following Terry Dwayne Ashford, told by other conspirators to call him CEO. He was to become the CEO that you see of Terry Dwayne Ashford. His name is Essie, and he follows Terry Dwayne Ashford everywhere he goes as if we're friends and have been friends forever. And we don't even know each other. Relied on nice and sweet and innocent and have manners. Have manners not to be rude enough to attack this particular attack plan. And that expectation, that reliance is what got him into trouble. We're closing out this morning. Again, this particular morning is Friday morning, July 23rd. We're coming to you, with you, for you, before 7 a.m. this morning. I am Terry Dwayne Ashford. For SNU StreetNOW News, Tap Media, Wilma Wayne and Companies. That Guy Radio, That Guy Television. Laugh loud all for you. I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford.